very good morning to you, dear listener, and welcome to Perspectives, the Friday edition of the program. Thank you very much for joining us. Today on the program, our focus will be on the Judiciary Staff Union workers' strike in Benue State. The Judiciary Staff Union workers in Benue, JUSON, have been on strike, which has prolonged for over a month now, and activities in the courts have been grounded, leaving litigants stranded as well as practitioners who are not able to attend to their clients. What are the issues responsible for this strike? How has it impacted legal and judicial services in Benue State, in the Nigerian Bar Association, as well as the judiciary in the state in general? These are the issues we shall try to interrogate on the edition of the program this morning. I have been joined here in the studio by the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, Makurdi branch, Barrister Tena Yaji, who is our guest on the program. Good to have you join us, Barrister.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. It's a pleasure to be in your beautiful studio once again.
Oh, thanks so much for your generous compliments. Now, we are not able to have the chairman of the the Judiciary Staff Union in Benue State, who had earlier given us a consent to feature on this program, only for him to call late night that the National Secretariat of the Union did not give clearance for him and members of his team to appear on this program. And our efforts to also get the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice and Public Order to also feature on this program to give us the government perspective has not yielded result, as he never responded to calls or text messages up to this moment. So this is the position we are. But we shall not keep Benue people who require legal services hostage. This is why the NBA chairman that is here with us in the studio, we examine the issue, and with the participation of you, the public, will get to find solution. We hope so. I am Nathaniel Nongo, welcoming you to this edition of the program. We are also expecting a public affairs commentator and a legal practitioner, the past secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association, Makurdi branch, Barrister Joseph Bajo, who we hope will join us in the course of the program. So if you are tuning in for the first time, kindly be informed that Perspectives is audience participatory. You can always phone in to participate on what we are discussing. At 10 o'clock, we avail you the platforms through which you can reach us. But in the meantime, you can log on to www.iGateRadioTV.com to listen to us and access other content of iGate Radio as well. We are available on Radio Garden and on social media platforms where our content is streaming. Join us on these platforms. Barrister, you have been working with the Judiciary Staff Union members of your NBA have been working with them along the line. Give us insights. What exactly is responsible for this ongoing strike in Benue State?
Well, the little that I know is that the judiciary salary structure is meant to be a unified salary structure for the staff of the Benue State Judiciary. And they have been enjoying this unified salary structure for some time now. I think that that came in 2010. And they have certain allowances that are different from allowances that are obtainable by other civil servants. Moving forward, the new increment in salary structure, the 75,000 naira increase that was recently introduced, affected the salaries of the judicial staff workers in a way that those allowances that were ordinarily entitled to are no longer meant to be there. So it therefore meant that somebody that was on a particular amount of money based on the old structure will have a salary reduced based on the new salary structure that is there. And they are saying that no, do not merge us with other civil servants. Our own salary structure is unified. It has been accepted. It has been applied by successive administrations. Why is it that it is being changed now? I think basically That is the issue.
Okay, now let's look at the letter which the union wrote addressed to the governor of the state on the 5th of December last year. It's not too long. We'll just go through it and then examine it in line with some of the concerns, the issues you pointed out. The letter is titled, it's addressed to His Excellency Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Yomem Alia, Executive Governor of Benue State, Government House, Makodi, Benue State. Your Excellency, notification of indefinite strike action over non-implementation of new minimum wage. The Executive Council of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, Benue State Branch, in compliance with the directives of the Central Working Committee, CWC, and National Executive Committee, NEC, of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, to embark on indefinite strike on the 2nd December 2024 over non-implementation of new minimum wage. JUSUN, Benue State Branch, has no option than to comply with the said directives and embark on the indefinite strike action with effect from Friday, 6th December 2024, following the failure of the Benue State government to implement the said minimum wage to its members. All judiciary staff across Benue State are by this notice directed to withdraw their services and remain at home until further directives from the state branch of the union. This is signed by Comrade Jolie Taylor David, Assistant Secretary, JUSUN. So, looking at this letter, is it purely about the non-implementation of the new minimum wage? And let's get to understand from your insight, is the salary structure of the judiciary different from this?
It has been different over the years. And if you announce a salary increase of 75,000 naira, then it should apply in accordance with the scale upon which salaries are computed. If, for example, 75,000 will translate to certain allowances or certain bases in the civil in other aspects of government, the judiciary's own, which has a graded system that has been applied all these years, it should be applied in such a manner that that increase will actually reflect as an increase.
Okay.
Yes, you cannot bring an increase in other civil servants and then an increase in a purported increase for the judiciary and want to merge a unified salary structure for all of them when these other judiciary salaries have been different from time past. It's just like the salaries of Benue State Teaching Hospital.
Yes.
It is different.
Okay, now this strike has been and according to this letter, with effect from 6th of December last year. What has been the situation in offering legal and judicial services to the people of Benue State since this strike commenced? And of course, they said it's an indefinite strike.
The judges of the high courts and other courts rely on JUSUN staff to sit. From the gatemen to the court clerks to other administrative officers, they rely on them. There's no access to courts. Judges that would have performed their duties have not been able to gain access to their offices and perform their statutory duties. The whole administration of justice has collapsed as a result of the strike. Inmates, people that are meant to be out of prison, are in prison. There are several other cases where that are arising. The police stations are filled up. So there's no, you cannot overemphasize the effect of the strike on the administration of justice.
Wow. When this really just striking, when you mentioned that the justice dispensation administration has collapsed. Even people who are not meant to be behind bars are still staying there. So, to what extent does this impact on judicial services in the country? Is this normal that over amount legal or judiciary activities are grounded and people are staying behind bars for just no reason?
It is not normal, and it is highly appalling. You see, if you visit the prisons, for example, the prisons are already decongested. Even before the strike, the prisons were decongested. So you can imagine the kind of pressure that will be on the little facilities that are there. Apart from the pressure, there are certain cases that affect their bail bonds when suddenly the strike came in. Several cases have been reported to the police stations. There are nowhere to carry those people to. Just recently, before the Federal High Court resumed sitting in Makurdi, some of the serious cases were taken to Abuja for arraignment, and it is not proper. The trickle down effect is that lawyers, litigants that are supposed to be paid for the work done have not been able to do those works, and no monies have come in. It also portends bad for the economy of the state. Commercial transactions have not been carried out properly because in the event that there are certain transactions that need to be stamped at the High Court, they are not there.
Now, the latest about the strike being that on Wednesday, members of JUSUN, from our investigation, went round some courts within Makurdi, the state capital, and sealed them again with fresh leaves. Our investigation showed that they removed the old palm fronds, which they said were old enough, and they will seal again with fresh ones, barricade the court environment to show that they are serious, insisting that until their demands are met, the strike won't be called off. What is the future of this? What does it portend in general? Should this continue? Is this how the situation will continue with lawyers in the state and judiciary services in general?
Well, on the part of the NBA, the NBA is a pressure group. We do not hold forth for JUSUN. We do not hold forth for the state. We are meant to be in the middle, to ask them to come at least get to a certain compromise. Yes, it is true that we noticed that fresh leaves were planted on most of the gates of the High Court premises, indicating that the strike will continue. All hope is not yet lost. I am equally aware that the National Secretariat has written a letter to His Excellency the Governor of Benue State.
That's the National Secretariat of JUSUN or NBA?
Of JUSUN.
Okay.
Yes, has written a letter to His Excellency the Governor of Benue State, and I am optimistic that when he gets that letter, I am sure that he would put in more efforts to talk with JUSUN and ensure that the strike is called off.
Anyway, let's look at the situation with members of your NBA. But before we look at the situation of members of the NBA in general, let's start. You said you are in the middle. So, what mediating role have you so far played between the JUSUN and
JUSUN? And we have equally spoken to the Honorable Attorney General of the state concerning this strike. The last information that I received was that the Chief Judge of Benue State had stepped into the matter and had appealed to the Judiciary Staff Union to call off their strike, and that he would step into the matter and see how possible he will get to the executive to ensure that their demands, if not all, at least majority of their demands are met. We have not been able, as a body, to meet with the two parties on a round table. We are hoping that very soon we'll be able to get with the representatives of the government and get the JUSON officials on the round table and sit down and see how we'll mediate on this matter.
All right. Now, let's look at your members. How have they been faring? How are they coping during this period that your services seem not to be available to litigants? What impact has it had?
About 70% of lawyers in Makurdi or in Benue State are litigation lawyers that earn their living from around the court premises. And where lawyers who ply their trade do not have access to the facilities where they will be able to ply their trade, then it means that no incomes have been received by those lawyers from their clients or or as a result of this closure. So it has not been easy with my colleagues, including myself, because that is from where we eke our...
But it doesn't look on you anyway. maybe,
well,
maybe you are sustaining from the ones you accumulated from. Anyway, don't mind me. I'm not trying to trivialize your
thank
situation.
you. I received the compliment. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's a terrible thing for a whole month, and the strike started on the 6th of December. We're preparing ourselves for Christmas. So I wonder how most lawyers spent their Christmas. And then after the Christmas, schools were resuming in January. I wonder how most lawyers have been able to pay school fees as a result of the strike.
Well, okay. Dear listener, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM Makurdi. We are discussing the Judiciary Union, Staff Union Association of Nigeria strike in Benue. JUSON members in Benue have been on an indefinite strike, and we are examining its impact. You can participate on the program later at 10 o'clock by calling in on the number 0814-335-9292. The number, once again, is 0814-335-9292. In the meantime, the line which is available for SMS and WhatsApp, through which you can also contribute on the program, is 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. Kindly remember to include your full name and the location you are sending your message from. Log on to our website on www.agateradiotv.com to listen to us and access other content of Agate Radio as well. We're available on Radio Garden and on social media platforms where our content is streaming. You may also download the Agate Radio and TV app from Google Play Store. This is a one-stop app that avails you the platform of the radio, online, the television, as well as the newspaper. We're available on all these platforms to serve you beyond boundaries. Kindly join us to be a part of the Agate Radio family. Now, Barrister Yaji, generally, has this ever been experienced across the country or in a particular state where judiciary services are grounded or legal services are grounded for this long, from your experience as a legal practitioner?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there have been several strikes. There have been a nationwide strike too. There have been a strike by JUSON Benue State, but I don't think it has taken this long. I don't think it has taken this long. This is one is far, far too long.
Now, let's look at in terms of prosecution of cases. During this time, obviously the police may not stop prosecuting crimes, may not stop making arrests of people who may breach provisions of the law. Is the police bound to continue in this way when legal services are grounded or judiciary staff are not working for them to prosecute cases effectively?
Now, that is the problem that we have with the strike. Because the Constitution states that if a person is arrested, he should be taken to court within 24 hours or within a period exceeding those 24 hours in certain conditions as stipulated under that Constitution. However, in this case, the police have arrested because they cannot stop their arrest and investigation and arrest. So several people that have been arrested are lingering in police cells. There is no court to charge these people to arraign those people to. So you cannot say their fundamental rights have been breached. If you go to the police station, I was in one yesterday, and if you see what is happening there, it's a piteous thing. Bail is free. That's what they say. But I tell you, with what is happening now, you go to a police station and they charge you fees to pay. And God knows if you do not pay, you stay there. Those are the effects of the Jews on strike. Those are the effects. Because ordinarily, if somebody is arrested and detained in the police station and a lawyer gets there, the lawyer knows that, yes, if you do not arraign this person within the stipulated time, I'll go to court and seek an order for the release of that person. The court where those orders are meant to be sought are closed. So what do? We become beggarly at the police stations, asking for favors that ought not to be asked for. Asking that rights that are ordinarily meant to be people's rights are being begged for. So it's a deplorable situation.
Now, in terms of you lawyers, maybe if not all, some of your lawyers are really out there advocating protection of and upholding fundamental human rights of citizens. In this situation that the legal services or judiciary activities are not working, and police is arresting and detaining people, how will they effectively uphold the rights of citizens in this situation? I believe the police too should know what is happening.
Well, as for lawyers, there is hardly anything that we can do. The police are trained. The police have the facilities to detain. The police are armed. We are only armed with our biros and our papers to file motions and applications before court. It is not possible for lawyers to stage a walking into the police and demand the release of suspects that are in police custody. So whatever they do with those suspects within the period of this strike is up to them. It is only for us to appeal that some of those cases that they feel that are ordinarily bailable, they should not keep those people there. Because even in war times, people have certain fundamental rights that cannot be taken away from them.
Do you envisage that this may worsen the violation of human rights on the part of the police?
I do not envisage. It is what is happening. Human rights have been grossly violated, not only by the police, by other law enforcement agencies. Because as I said, if you are arrested, you have a right to be taken before a court within a reasonable time. Courts are not in operation. That itself, that detention itself is a violation of those rights. So the fact that you are arrested and you are detained without knowing when or where you'll be charged is a problem.
Now, let's look at on the part of litigants, maybe those who had existing court processes that were ongoing. How has it impacted them based on the clients your members of the NBA were handling before the strike started?
Our clients are hopeless. They are helpless, rather, because there's nothing they can do. There are cases that have been pending for years and years and years. And with the new chief judge that we have and the set of judges that were recently appointed, cases have been moving fast. But you see, with what is happening now, there's the cases have been stalled. Litigants have been crying. They come to the office day in, day out, asking when the strike will be over. And commercial transactions that are supposed to be concluded by certain decisions are not there. So it has affected them. It has affected the criminal justice system. It has affected the entire society. It has affected legal practitioners.
Now, should this continue, what is the NBA looking forward to doing?
As I said earlier, all we can do is to appeal. So appeal to the two warring parties. At least you can come to a middle point. Come to a middle point. You can talk. You can still be talking while walking. So, in as much as the grievances by Jason might be genuine, the reasons why the government equally does not want to succumb to the demands of the Jason equally may be genuine. But I tell you, my brother, sometimes you have to take a middle course so that peace will reign. It is that middle course that we need them to adopt. And we hope that those in government will be listening to this program. The effect of the judicial service, or the effect of the strike, is more than we can take. It's more than we can fathom. It is not proper for a whole administration of justice system in a state to be shut down for this long. Whatever that it takes to have these people resume work, the government should do so. Whatever that it takes.
Anyway, I did ask you earlier, maybe if you have played a mediating role, but beyond engaging with directly the governor himself, as members of NBA, is there any interface you have had with the State Attorney General, Commissioner for Justice and Public Order, with regards to efforts to find a solution to this situation on ground?
Yes, we have spoken with him. We have spoken with him. He's doing the best that he can to ensure that those that are meant to sit down and look at these demands sit down and look at those demands. So I've spoken to him, and I think he's taking those efforts. After this program, we'll equally meet with him and ensure that those steps that he has promised that he will take have been taken.
Anyway, I may not know how the judiciary operates, but with the Jusun strike ongoing, which is to say, the Ministry of Justice itself, I don't know whether it's operational.
Yes, the Ministry of Justice is operational. The Ministry of Justice is a ministry under the executive. It's not part of the judiciary.
Okay.
Yes.
So as it is there any intervention the ministry on its own can make to have the courts reopened without the Jusun?
The Ministry of Justice is headed by the Honorable Attorney General.
Yes.
And Commissioner for Justice. And I think that being the head of that ministry, he's the one that we need to interface with. He's the one we have been talking with. We'll sustain our discussions with him and see how this strike can be suspended.
How about the state chief judge, as members of the NBA? Since the strike commenced, what has been your interface or intervening role between the NBA and the office of the state chief judge?
Yes, we met with the Honorable Chief Judge of Benue State, and he caused a meeting to be held between the Judicial Service Union, which he heads, and the leadership of JUSON. But the information I received was that he gave them an undertaking that they should call off the strike, and he would take up the issue of their grievances with His Excellency the Governor of Benue State. I think this was about last week or so. So we were optimistic that by yesterday the strike will be called off. That is until we now saw the various new leaves
Yes.
planted. And then when we asked, they said no. They had the leadership, their national leadership had told them to continue with the strike. So the chief judge too has taken steps to ensure that the strike is suspended.
Now, it's quite a bit disappointing that event that we do not have Juson on this program, given that we're actually hoping they gave the commitment of coming, only for their information to come late, and there was nothing we could do to call off this program, given that it was scheduled already. So, but is don't you think Juson may a bit be unfair to government? At the time the government has implemented a new minimum wage of fairness, you see in the whole situation, the government, don't you think if they have given government a little more time, this situation will be handled? You are not speaking for the government, but you give us an objective analysis of the situation.
Exactly so. Talking about fairness or not being fair, I think that every person has a right to demand for whatever he feels is accruable to the person. It's not about being fair or not being fair. That is for Jason and for the government to talk about. Now, the other aspect of timing, I think that the timing was too short, with all due respect to Jason members. The letter written to His Excellency was written on the 5th of December, informing him that they were going to commence. Correspondences are handled in public service. I am sure that as at the time they embarked on that strike, that letter had not been brought to the attention of His Excellency. Perhaps if they had ensured that the letter had been brought to his attention, His Excellency would have taken proactive steps to avert the strike. So to that extent, yes, it was unfair for Juson to give that short notice, so short a notice. They didn't even wait for somebody to mediate. For example, a copy of that letter was equally sent to the NBA on the 5th, and before we knew it, on the 6th, they had embarked on the strike. Well, they can say that the strike issues had been lingering, but for goodness sake, if you are going to start it, to embark on it, let us have enough notice. We might even have stepped in and said, no, don't go on this strike. This is what can be done. This is what can be done. His Excellency might have said, okay, fine, don't go on the strike. I'll give you this commitment to pay this or do that. So to that extent, I think they were unfair to government. But as for their demands, everybody is entitled to demand what is due for the person. If they were here, they would have explained more basically how their salary is structured, and what makes them different from other civil servants. That I cannot hold forth for them.
Well, granted, the letter, the date of this letter, 5th December, as you mentioned, don't you think before the letter there may have been underlining issues which were not resolved? Maybe some discussions that ended in stalemate, resulting to this last action, which will be the impasse, the industrial impasse as we have.
I think so. I agree with you. But you see, when you're having an informal conversation, informal meetings with a person, and you decide to take steps, negative steps, you should give that person enough notice. This is the step that I'm taking. This is what it will portend for you. Take measures to correct it. They would have given, okay, letter of the 5th, they would have said, we are going to embark on the strike on the 14th. Maybe 7 days notice. It's enough for that letter to have gone from one table to the other and reached His Excellency. That is my candid opinion. That if you have, even in spite of the fact that you have been engaged in series of conversations, series of meetings, and that you now feel that the meetings have not achieved any result, I'm going to take a negative step, then I should inform the person and give him time. Why were they writing the letter to His Excellency? To notify them that we're on strike, or what? They ought to have written and given him notice so that in the event, because at the end of the day, it is their demands that they want to be met, not the fact that they want to punish anybody as a result of strike. So that is just my issue. They would have given at least 7 days notice for the letter to be
In any case, maybe the government side is not here, but it is still a bit surprising that the government may be announcing new minimum wage. Of course, the new minimum wage act was signed since July last year by President Bola Tinubu, and the state governors were gradually announcing. Government of Benue State did announce its own, I think, around October, if I'm still correct, 75,000 naira. So I'm wondering why the government will announce a wage for workers 75, and definitely they may have known that members of the judiciary have a different pay. Why was it not implemented for them? Don't you think there are some loopholes on the part of government that needs to be looked into?
Well, loopholes on the part of government. Well, I can't say that, but I know that the judiciary has been on a unified salary structure,
which we believe the government should be aware of.
Yes.
So,
yes, they have been on a unified salary structure, and to be candid, if you are introducing a new salary structure, then have in mind that certain persons under your supervision, under your agreement with them, have been receiving salary structures different from other civil servants. And by the way, the judiciary is a separate arm of government. They are entitled to work out their salaries by themselves. It all boils down back again to the issue of judicial independence. We don't have been talking about this. Now, the salary structure of the judiciary and the salary structure of the other civil servants. If you are bringing a 75,000 naira minimum wage, then you have to work it in accordance with the salary structure of the civil servants. And then you equally know that there is, by your agreement with them, a salary structure which they have been enjoying over the years. The 75% increase, 75,000 naira increase, should be reflected in accordance with their salary structure, which you, as government, have been implementing over the years with them. So what happens to the agreement that you signed with Juson? What happens to all the correspondences? What happens to the salaries that they have been enjoying? That is where the problem is. If, for example, as I said, I'm not holding forth for either the government or Juson. I'm trying to be as objective as I can.
Yes.
If, for example, you feel that no, these monies that are meant for Juson, by the present economic realities, you will not be able to foot these monies that Juson are asking for, then ask for a renegotiation. You can renegotiate terms. A contract that is 100,000 naira, for example, you can renegotiate it to 75,000 naira. It depends on your negotiating power. Listen to your grievances, simply because the monies are held by us, and it is us that determines how and when you should get those monies. I think that is not fair.
Now, while making the submission, you touched briefly on the independence or autonomy for the judiciary. In Benue State, it's been on paper that there is a law granting autonomy for the judiciary. Is that autonomy not applied in this circumstance?
If the autonomy is applicable in this circumstance, then we wouldn't have cause to have a Juson strike, because the monies that are meant for the judiciary would have been released to the judiciary, and salaries of their workers will be taken care of by the judiciary themselves. It will not be a fight between workers of the judiciary and the executive. That is not to say that a certain or a high percentage of that independence is not applicable. They've been enjoying part of the judicial independence that has been introduced. But I am telling you that this one, if it was part of it, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this Chuson strike.
Now, let's look at the judiciary in its entirety in Nigeria. With these situations, well, Nigerians oftentimes accuse the judiciary of not living up to expectation in terms of handling some of the issues, legal issues in the countries at justice dispositions. With this, how can the judiciary live up to its expectation using this Benue experience?
Well, I think that's a rhetorical question, because the judiciary has tried their best. In Benue State, for example, Benue State judiciary is one of the best judiciaries in the whole of Nigeria. I am not saying that because I am from Benue State or because I practice here. I've practiced in other jurisdictions and I've heard stories that have been told about the Benue judiciary. Now, the impact of the strike definitely will affect the performances by the Benue State judiciary, because every quarterly, judges are meant to submit returns to the National Judicial Service Commission in Abuja. With this strike, no returns can be made. So if you are going to give percentages to judges, it will affect, the strike will affect the percentages that will be given to Benue State in terms of pass marks for return of those for those annual quarterly returns that they make. So those is one of the effects of the strike.
You are aware of a popular phrase Nigerians have had to use in our everyday parlance: go to court. If you are not satisfied with that issue, go to court. So, this situation in Benue as it is now, will people still flaunt the go to court phrase in the faces of
the phrase is gone.
Nigeria?
The phrase is gone. The courts are closed. So which court will you go to? And that is the problem.
Yes.
Because in as much as that phrase "go to court" may seem, people use it in a manner to say that even if you go to court, what will happen to you? In as much as people feel like that, there's a soothing feeling that you are aggrieved and there's a platform for you to ventilate those grievances. Where that platform is taken away in a civilized society as ours, where do you expect somebody who is aggrieved with his brother or his colleague, where do you expect that person to go to? There are touts around who claim to settle issues. They will form clusters, and then jungle justice will come in. This is also one of the effects of the strike.
The strike will encourage jungle justice arrangement.
Yes. Because there's no court to go to, and your grievance is there. You want it to be resolved. So where do you turn to? Jungle justice.
Anyway, for the highly placed Nigerians, when I understand that when the phrase "go to court" is used, it amounts to ridicule, because they know that even if you go to court, they know their way out. To what extent is that true? Based on judiciary practice, based on your experience engaging as a lawyer?
Well, go to court. That's what they say. You go to court and then you'll be ridiculed. That's their phrase. I don't know of that at all. I know that justice is served. If you're wrong, you'll pay the price. If you're right, you'll be exonerated. So to say that some people sit down somewhere and then tamper with the machinery of justice.
Now, when you mentioned Benue State Judiciary being renowned as one of the best, yes, I agree with you, because it's been said consistently that it is one of the best in terms of since what has happened with the past administration, the state chief judge just have been quite active in terms of so. With this strike coming now, are we on the way to sustaining that reputation as being one of the best, given that over amount activities of the judiciary have been grounded? Is that a dent on that reputation?
Well, not really a dent on our reputation. It's just to slow us back a little bit. Judges, whatever it is that the judge has is in his head. They say the law rests in the breast of the judge. I do not see how the strike will go and remove the law that the judge has already assimilated in his breast to affect his sense of judgment. So our judiciary is the best. I am sure they'll continue to be the best, this strike or no.
Okay, dear listener, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi, Benue State. And our discussion is focused on the judiciary workers' strike in Benue. And leading us in the conversation here in the studio is the chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, NBA Makudi branch, Barrister Tena Yaji, who is also discussing. Our other guests are not able to make it, but we believe by the time we open the telephone line, you, the listener, can also have your say on what we are discussing. And the number through which you can reach us is 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. That will be shortly at 10 o'clock. In the meantime, the SMS line is already activated. You can participate by sending an SMS or a WhatsApp message to that number, which is 09126. Include your full name and the address where you are sending your message from. You may also access our platforms on social media, on Radio Garden, and so that content as well. We'll take a short break, and once we are back, we'll try to start engaging with you after a brief conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break, dear listener. Thank you for staying with us on iGate Radio. You're listening to Perspectives. Our discussion is focused on the Judiciary Workers Staff Union Association, JUSON. Their strike in Benue, which has been ongoing. Benue State branch of JUSON have been on strike, and we're examining the issues. You can call in on the program 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. The line for SMS is 0912-699-9404. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Morning. My name is David. I'm coming from OGRA.
The name is who?
David calling from OGRA, sir.
Okay, thank you, Tehide Kom.
Yeah.
Hello, Tehide. Oh, lost connection with you. Well, the line is still available. You may try to call back. We're here to engage with you. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
You speak with Uso Isaac from Goma, Anchiha Tejime.
Okay, Isaac, welcome.
Thank you. Perpendicular, the mood of the judiciary is to express their grievances political, but to pick up the pieces. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Utsua, for your opinion. The judiciary workers should express their issues. Government should look into them. I think that's your point. Thank you. We appreciate you for calling in. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
This is Alad TV John calling from Apple Makodi.
Good to have you, TV.
Yes, sir. So I'm not happy hearing the whole union justice to go on strike. And I saw earlier that there some union that if they announce that they're going to strike, there are some union that government need to do something, address it very quickly, because a lot of things are going on in the state. If the government is keeping quiet for this union, I think that's not proper. I think that arresting the suspect or the crime or any aspect. But I think the government used to address this kind of thing, because some people are in the prison waiting for them that their cases are going to address in the court, then hearing that the whole system is on strike, which is bad. The government need to do something quickly. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Aladi TV. Government should do something very quickly to address the issue. Of course, the police, like you mentioned, cannot stop arresting the suspect. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us on the program.
Yes, my name is Godwin Zegiya. I'm calling from Industrial.
Thank you, Godwin.
Yes, there's a saying that the judiciary is the last hope of the poor. And this one that the judiciary, they are on strike. Everything has been standing still. No court case. Those people that have been remanded, waiting for their judgment, there is nothing. Everything is fighting. The same way one of the callers said, police are arresting people and they are keeping them in one place. The government should try and understand with the judiciary, and the judiciary too should try and understand with the government, so that there will be peace. Those things that are pending, they should, so that the correctional center will be reduced. If not, people have been fighting there for years. There are some cases they have not tried. So the government should try and understand with the judiciary, and the judiciary too should try and understand with the government, so that there will be peace. What we need in our country now is peace. So thank you very much.
Okay, Godwin Zegiya, thank you for calling in. Government understand with the judiciary workers. And judiciary workers, you are also urged to understand with the government. So it's a balance. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you.
I am Honorable Lamana calling from Mobile Barracks.
Lamana who?
Ulamana, Honorable Ulamana John.
Okay, thank you, Lamana John. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, I think the legislature is one of the key arm of government in every entity. But if they are going to strike on such a reason, what if the other arms, like the executive and the legislatures, also go on strike? Where's the state again? I believe everything goes with mercy. But if the judicial has such prerogative on them, what are we practicing in Nigeria? So that's my own take. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yours seem to be posers. They are just rhetorical. Anyway, we appreciate you, John Olamana, for calling in on the program. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program. Hello. Hello, good morning. Okay, you're on, but your voice is not coming through, and a bit unfortunate we're not able to get through to you. Kindly call back. The line is still available if you are able to connect. Otherwise, send us an SMS. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Perspectives. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Sakris Teke, a retiree, calling from international market here.
Okay,
thank you,
sir.
Ajabasha, precisely.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. I wish to appreciate all of you.
Thank you, sir.
What I want to submit is doing the right thing is the right thing to be done. I submit that may God look, may government look into the aspect of that judicial something. Let government do the right thing, not that it's doing the wrong thing. They are crying out, it's for good, so that let the peace reign. Because I was once in the service, and the judicial aspect is really quite different. The differential, when you are competing salary, the differential must be there. Salary does not mean you place one on disadvantage. It's to place one on advantage. So really, I sympathize with them, and I sympathize with the government. The only thing is just to look into the right aspect and do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Christopher,
Yes.
for your opinion.
All right.
Okay. Government is getting its own sympathies, and it's also been urged to do the right thing because the judiciary is on strike, and the right thing should be done to get them working. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Hello. The name is who?
Agbo Gabriel Obande.
Okay, Agbo Gabriel. Thank you. You sound inaudible. Could you speak up a bit so that we hear you well?
Yeah, I'm calling from Villa Street.
Okay, go ahead, Obande. We're listening to you. Villa Street is in Makudi.
Concerning this issue, I think, just like the other caller had said, the truth of the matter is that compromise is not supposed to be on one side, If the federal government has decided to adjust the regular salary for them, he must have a reason for doing that. I think so. So that increment was implemented. It wasn't there before. It was someone else or some administration that increased that their money. So why is it so hard for them to now understand and say, okay, we can waive this one? The minimum wage you're talking about, the minimum wage is not for everybody. So I don't understand. This one, they are putting the whole thing on one side. The government is the one that is stampeding the judiciary from working and all that, all the prisoners and all that, they themselves that went on the strike, are they not supposed to be considerate to see that the welfare of the country too will go forward? You cannot just put everything on government, 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 and all that.
Okay,
So
but
that's just my take.
Obande, before you go, when you said they are not supposed to be considerate, do you mean that if their entitlements are not paid the way they should, they should be considered in your position
From
as
from what I heard, from what they said, it's just the difference that their salary is not supposed to be the same with the normal civil servant. I don't know what they said. It's just the difference. Not like the government is not paying them their entire salary. It's just the difference that that man in the studio mentioned about. So if it's that just the difference, kind of way the difference was implemented. It wasn't there before. Well, he said it right. He rightly said it that it was some years ago that they implemented that difference on that salary scheme. So if this one now that comes, maybe he has seen something in it and said, okay, let us not pay that one again. But why are they complaining? Like they are going on strike completely and then making the masses to suffer, and then they are now trying to put the whole blame on the government. Things are not done like that now. It's not government that will do everything. There are some things that we individuals, the masses, we can do to assist ourselves. No, it shouldn't be the government all the time. How about the other
okay.
people that are not
Obande,
salary?
maybe before I let you go, in this situation, what do you think the citizens, the masses in quote, as you are using, but I prefer the citizens. The concept of masses seems to be bastardized. But citizens, what do you think they should do in this situation?
Well, just like I like to say, the compromise is not supposed to be in one place. You can't eat your meal and wash your hands with one arm and expect the thing that is on your palms to be clear. You have to use both hands. Now, the judiciary and the government, they are all one body, if I may say so, because we are all working for the good, for the growth of the country.
Okay.
We are in one country. So if both of them can compromise and then come to an agreement, it will also translate to the masses that are suffering now.
Okay.
You understand? So
Th-
that is my thing.
Obande, thank you.
It cannot be one-sided. They insist that the government must do what they want, and the government doesn't do it. Is that how we will continue? The masses will continue suffering.
Okay. Thank you, Obande. We appreciate you for calling in. Okay, Juson members, I believe it's up to you. The ball is now in your court. This is the voice of people. Is this how we will continue? Pause on that, reflect on that. Let's know whether the citizens of the state litigants, your clients, the judiciary deserves to continue this way. Government too should reflect. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Nat.
Thank you so much for joining us on Perspectives.
Thank you. My name is Comrade Achimi Oguche, calling from Modern Market Road.
Thank you, sir.
I want to thank the NUJ chairman in
No,
the
no, no.
studio,
Is the NBA and the
NBA,
Nigerian Bar Association.
NBA chairman for his contribution on the program.
Thank you.
First and foremost, I want to also thank you for bringing this vital topic of discussion.
Thank you, sir.
The chairman of the Judiciary Union, they have failed to appear on this program, and which is a very bad omen. If you have a burning issue like this and you have a platform to express yourself, it is very good you come up and put your grievances before the general public, because as time goes on now, they will turn it to political, and the government will tell you that the strike is politically motivated. So that is by the way. During the negotiation of this minimum wage, I believe the union executive who sat with the government to discuss before they arrive on the 75,000 naira minimum wage, they too are supposed to be in this platform to explain to people the modalities followed before they arrive on that final figure. You see, what some of us understand about this minimum wage is that the government, right from the federal level, are not sincere. From 30,000 minimum wage, it has been increased to 75,000, which is over 100% increment. But the federal workers, what most of them saw in their salary is 40,000 naira flat rate. And nobody can explain it up to this present moment. So I expect the state government and the judiciary union to come together and rectify this problem, because strike will not solve this problem. Now all the courts are closed down. If they say go to court now, where will you go so that your issue will be addressed? So it is important they come to the round table. In this case, strike will not solve the problem. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it so
Yeah.
much, Ogucha. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, strike will not solve the problem. Go to court now. Nigerians are asking, you say go to court. Where will you go to? Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir, Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Thank you very much. My regards to your guest in the studio, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. My name is Vincent Ako. I'm calling from Akut Road.
All right, Vincent, good to have you. Go ahead and make your submission.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that it is very, very unfortunate that the Jewish people are not there in the studio. I want to quickly say that there are no loopholes on the part of the government in this matter. They are learned people, so they should also learn how to be patient. After all, the issue of this issue of new minimum wage is not something that is just coming up now. So why would they just decide to go on strike like that? Okay, they invited them for clarification. They refuse to appear. They dishonor the invitation. Why are they dishonoring invitation? Because they know that what they are doing is not good. That is the truth. Let us be realistic with ourselves. If they know that what they are doing is good, they should have appeared on this platform. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, Vincent, thank you. That is an allegation, but we'll leave it to Juson. We are here. Thank you. We appreciate you. That's an allegation that they are not doing the right thing, not our opinion. But we are here. Anytime they feel to have a right of reply, and this time we offer them a free platform, but maybe when they want to have you join us, Emeka and Yoko.
Yes, I am calling on the judicial staff to come back to the table, negotiating table. And I'm at the same time calling on the government to do the needful. When your child is crying, he knows why he is crying. So you, the government, also have to come and discuss with their children. We do know that it is the poor masses that are suffering today. Not only the poor masses, there are people who have cases that they would have filed. So many people are being arrested and they are being detained in the police cells. If the judicial staffs are not on strike, these people would have been taken to the courts. So I am pleading with the judicial staff, because strike cannot solve the problem. It is negotiation on the table that can solve the problem. So I am calling on them. Even when the chief judge called on them, they would have understood with him. Remembering that the governor has done this little he can do, he can still listen as a father. So as far as the governor has paid 75,000 naira minimum wage, he can still listen to them. He did the same thing.
Thank you. We are staying on
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Let's stay on our conversation. We are not discussing the entire state civil service. We are focusing on Juson in general, in particular on their strike. Good morning. Welcome to Perspectives. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is
Could you speak up?
thank God.
Where are you reaching us from?
I'm calling from kilometer Facebook Road.
Unstable, so it's fluctuating. Kindly change your position so we hear you well. Hello, HMB. Oh, HMB, we lost connection with you. 9292 0814 335 9292. Let's see if it's HMB back on the line. HMB, hello, good morning.
No, it's not HMB.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a different caller.
Okay, thank you. Let's know your name.
Good morning.
Thank you.
I'm Audu Donald from Napoli.
Audu Donald.
Yes.
All right.
Before I will contribute, I want to let you understand that most contributors to this the program are not civil servants. If you are a civil servant, a, a 1 naira increase in the salary will adjust the price of everything in the market. So I I want to to to, to let the country to understand that just on track because their uh, their salary, their new salary is not implemented,
Okay.
and if you go to market, you find a hardship there. However, the government and the justice should come to a negotiating table and find a lasting solution to this. Thank
Okay.
you. That's my
I
contribution.
would. Are you a are you a member of Josu or you are a civil
No,
servant?
I'm not a member of justice, but I'm a civil servant. I
Okay.
understand the flag.
Okay, okay, that's okay. So maybe you are telling us that for you civil servants, even the 75 that is being paid, the market forces are not
Go to
finding.
market and see now. If you go there, you understand everything there.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I would have done that. We appreciate you for your opinion. All right. So this is perspective. So we accommodate all shares of opinion on this program, provided that within our conversation. Good morning. Welcome to Perspectives.
Yeah, good morning, AJ. Thank God. Back
Oh,
online.
oh, great, great.
Yeah. Like seriously, just going on strike, yeah, is quite encouraging. It's not encouraging because suffering the masses at the same time, thinking that they are encouraging the government to, because the government will not do anything as in jeopardize both the masses and the just. You understand? So negotiation in this present dispensation of life is quite encouraging. They could have negotiated with the governor of the state. As in, okay, imagine they had an issue. They sent a letter to the governor on the 5th of December. Then going on strike on the 6th. No, it's not quite encouraging. Like, seriously. How will you send it? Because the governor will never receive the letter on the 6th, on the 5th of that December. You can have wait at least let them negotiate to the governor, as in the government of Benue State, so before they embark on strike. And I know that the governor will never, the present governor of Benue State will never, as in, will never despise them, as in, never will want to negotiate with everybody, as in, we want to carry everyone along.
Okay. HMV, thank God. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you very much. You sound like a government spokesperson, but that's okay. It's your opinion, so we accept it as you have, because, well, the government side is not here, but you're speaking for them. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Say the calling again. I called in the morning the first time, but my network is very bad.
Okay,
Yes,
go ahead. Make your submission very
Say the
brief this time.
I'm from OGR. Yeah. As for me, I'm not. I'm I'm solely behind the judiciary and the labor because they are the voice of the voiceless. Because they are talking about minimum wage, and our governor on news I heard that he implemented the system that he will be paying 77,000 naira, of which this is the month January. We're hoping that they will implement, and we will still saying the system, of which we are not seeing anything. So I am suddenly behind judiciary. They should go on. I want them to go to this strike. They should make sure they should lock all the offices. Let us see how they will continue manipulating us, we the poor. Thank you. That's my opinion. Thank you, sir.
So, Tehide, if you say this anyway, so is this how the justice dispensation in the state should be held hostage? If you say they should even continue and lock up all in your words, should we continue?
Yeah, because they don't care about us. They don't care about us. They only care about themselves.
Anyway,
because I'm not happy about this at all. So I want they should lock everything up so that they will know that we are very important in this society. Thank you, sir.
all right, Tete, thank you. We appreciate you
You're
for
welcome,
your
sir.
opinion. Thank you for calling in. Anyway, some of the callers have called for negotiation. Some said it should be going. So let's see how.
Hello, good morning, my guest over there.
Good morning, sir.
This is Isaiah Yoyen calling from Bajimba.
Thank you, Isaiah OEM.
I'm solidly behind judiciary. With the saying that says judiciary are the common hope of the common man, a hope of the common man. You know, there are some cases that police are maltreating humans or people. Some are being detained in their police custody, and no one is there to prove or defend them. So despite the fact that they embark on the strike, I'm appealing to them that they should look on the common man and endure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Isaiah.
Yes.
They should consider the plight of the common man. Okay, let's take a few messages before we come back. This will begin from our WhatsApp box here. Okay, but just before the messages, the line will not stop buzzing, so let's return to it briefly. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
I appreciate you listening you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, you are on, but we know your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes, my name is Godfrey Oba.
Yes.
I'm coming from Buruku.
Okay, thank you. Which part of Buruku, Godfrey?
Zimbaya, Batua.
Okay, go ahead. We are listening to you.
So I want to appreciate the present government. The issue of judiciary. Let them come down and settle with the government. If not, police are taking advantage right now to detain people on robbery detention and getting money from the masses. So let them cooperate with the federal government to solve the issue. So thank you so much, the President.
We thank you, Godfrey Oba.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Okay, anyway, Barrister, you said it here yourself, so I don't know whether it is from your point Oban is leveraging. He's alleging that police is taking advantage to unlawfully detain people. We may not know to what extent that may be true, but we'll also get to hear the police side later in the course as the issues continue. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nat and the guest in the studio.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
This is the voice of Ado Bartolome from Gwe West.
All right. Which
yes,
part
I'm
of
going
Gwe
to be
West?
very,
Ado?
Oh, but Chohon Council Ward of Gwe West Local Government.
Okay.
I'm going to be very snappy. Before I continue, I must thank the guest in the studio. I have a question to ask the guest before I continue, sir.
Go on.
The issue of the judiciary embarking on this industrial strike, is it a nationwide strike? Then if it is not a nationwide strike, other states who have not embarked on this strike, what are the modalities they have taken to curtail this issue of minimum wage? Or is it only Benue State? That is my question. Then my summation. When they talk about strike, I am not a government worker, but I know the pain we ordinary citizens are going through. Then talk less of the workers working there. What happens in the market force? The prices of goods have escalated. Then the government on their part should take a look at the plight of these people. They are talking about some of the entitlement they were enjoying are no longer there. If I got the guest correctly, the entitlement are not there. What happened to this entitlement? So my appeal to them is not embarking on this prolonged strike that will solve issues. They should sheath their sword. The government on our own part too should consider their plight. What is happening in the correctional centers? People are suffering. The inmates waiting for trial are suffering. We the poor masses are suffering. So please, they should consider our plight and call off this strike for amicable resolution of this. Thank you. That is my submission.
Thank you, Bartolome. We appreciate you for your submission. Thanks for calling in. All right. My job is not to answer questions, so I will allow you to respond to that. Otherwise, I don't know whether Bartolome joined us while we were in already, but his question is not. We'll come to it. Good morning.
Hello?
Could you move away from your radio set?
Good morning.
Good morning. Kindly move away from your radio. Turn down its volume so we can hear
Okay,
you.
okay, I will do it.
Let's know your name.
I am Zaki Victor Becker.
The name is who?
Zaki Victor Honorary Becker.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Naka.
Okay.
I am the same page with the last caller. I think you are getting me.
Yes, sir.
You should give our governor time so that he will look for this issue. For me, I'm advising them to call off that strike because people are suffering. They should look at it. Even the governor himself, I think, he will do something about it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for calling in. I appreciate you. Okay, let's take these messages quickly before we come back. This one says, good morning, I get radio and Nathaniel Nongo for the wonderful topic on perspective. I am Dan Atai from Kwarafa Quarters in Makodi. You see, when politicians and political policies influence negatively on some critical democratic institutions, then it is capable of creating more insecurities in the state and our nation. We know that the judiciary is not just an arm of government, but a vital democratic institution for that matter. As a matter of fact, the judiciary and the legislature ought to be the arms of government that should govern the nation and not the executive arm of government that has completely immersed itself with party politics and a vision of only how to win the next election. This country, by extension, may not move forward or be truly democratic if the judiciary and the legislative arms of government are not completely independent in both financial and administrative to prevail. It may soon usurp the powers of both the judiciary and the legislature to pave the way for complete lawlessness and anarchy. I pray we don't see the worst of it all. There are critical sectors you don't joke with: the health sector, the judiciary, legislature, and defense. Let me rest my case here. Once again, I am Engineer Danatai. Okay, Danatai, thank you for your thoughts on the program. We appreciate you. Government should accord priority to the sector. Another one here in our regular SMS box says, good morning, Mr. Nathaniel and your guest. Like your guest, I am not placing blame on anybody, but I think the government should have considered the wage structure of the judiciary before implementing the minimum wage. And I also think the notice by the union was unfair. That is, the duration was too short, but the way forward is a compromise between the government and the union because the fundamental rights of citizens are being violated. Thank you. Telomo Augustine from Nyon in Makodi. Thank you for your message, Telomo. We appreciate you for sending it in. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Nathaniel.
Thank you, sir.
And the other members in the studio.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. This is Ame from Adeke, London. It's a Ema Haka.
Ame. Adeke,
yes.
Is it in London or is it in Makodi?
Yes, Adeke is in London, but in Makodi.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ame.
Yes. My contribution is that anything that has advantage has disadvantage. No matter how we support the judiciary, we must still check that we are the ones suffering it. They are not feeling it. The judiciary will come to agreement and understand with the present government. If somebody is trying, you should know that he's trying. You should understand. If it is not for that, I would have support the judiciary should continue because that is where the voice of the masses will be heard. But for the sake of say, if they are on strike, we suffer and then to suffer. they should come to compromises. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ameme. Should come to a compromise. Thanks for calling in. All right, Bryce Ayaji, you have listened to the callers, diverse opinions, but let's begin. Maybe make a submission on what you make of the comments generally. Then you respond to the question posed by Ado Batlomi. I'm sure you noted it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the general consensus is that both the GSON and government should go back to a negotiation table.
Yes.
And that they should come to a certain compromise. They should seek a middle course to end this strike. The second consensus is that as a result of the strike, majority of the masses are suffering, especially those concerned with the criminal justice administration, those in prison, those in the police station. Those are the consensus that we have made. Some have said that Jusson is trying, government to should compromise. So the basic thing that they have said is that they should go back and negotiate. You see, the issue is that I'm aware that there's an agreement between Jusson that Jusson has embarked on the strike. If the
apologies to interject.
Yes.
The agreement, was it reached before they embarked on the strike?
In 2010.
Okay.
Since 2010.
Okay.
Yes. So that agreement stipulates the allowances accruable to them. That's the one that gave them that unified salary structure. If at this time the government has decided that no, that unified salary structure will not work, then it is up to them to negotiate. So I agree with the callers. They should negotiate. The GSON is entitled to that agreement, but they should not use that agreement as a wand to subject the government to it. If the government can no longer, if it is not more feasible for the government to keep that agreement, then they should negotiate. And of course, GSON should say, okay, we have agreed that this one should be taken away, this one should remain. So that is what negotiation does. You give and you take. As per the question asked by Mr. Ado, yes, GSON strike, as far as I know, is in Benue State. Although there are certain other states that had indicated that they were going on strike. But for now, the strike that we are talking about is the GSON strike. It's a state strike that affects the state judiciary. Proactive measures that can be taken is that whenever an association of this nature has started ventilating its grievances, then it is up to the authorities that are meant to look at those grievances to call them together and sit down and negotiate and keep negotiating and keep negotiating. There's no problem in negotiating. You negotiate and negotiate and negotiate. Definitely, you get to a middle point.
All right. So, Bartholomew, I believe your concern is noted. But again, like one of the messages I read here stated, we're wondering, or maybe the listener too may be wondering, when the government was negotiating this new minimum wage for the worker in Benue State, were the JUSO members not part of that negotiation? How come a new minimum wage is arrived at persons? Good morning. Hello, kindly move away from your radio set.
All right. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning to the NBA chairman.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Please turn down the volume of
my
your
name
radio.
is Bobby Kabeshima, calling from Ikea Shaker and Co. Makudi office.
Okay, thank you very much, Bobby Tabishima. Could you move away from your radio or turn down its volume so we hear you without the radio interfering?
All right.
Thank you, Bobby.
Mine is just an appeal. Needless to take any side. It's just an appeal to the state government and the JUSO staff. Yesterday I was in the prison and the officers there vehemently complained about the strike. I was also in the police station and the place was jam-packed because there were cases that need not to be allowed to go on day. They needed to be there. And these people are finding me very difficult to operate. So I want to appeal to the state government, the listening governor we have, to please intervene and let's resolve this amicably. In fact, every problem must be resolved. There is no problem in the world that cannot be resolved. So please, if the governor is listening, or the AG or secretary of the state government, please call these people again and let them have a roundtable discussion so that we can end this. Nasarawa were on strike at the same time with us, but they have come back. Plateau also, but they have resumed. So what happened to Benue? We can do better. Thank you very much, and God bless all of us.
Thank you, Bobby. We appreciate you for calling here. Okay, I think from his position, maybe I can surmise that maybe he's a legal practitioner because he mentioned he was at the correctional center and at the police. Okay, so he's giving us first-hand experience. So before we took his call, you were about to speak to us. Why is it not worrying that the negotiation of the minimum wage was arrived at? Were just so members part of that negotiation?
I'm not in a position to know that at all. I equally wonder how it has come up to this stage that the minimum wage.
Since this, because I'm just asking you at the basis of you are a lawyer, as the chairman of NBA in the state. At least you should be in a position to interact with maybe the high authorities of just want to understand. So, did you perchance get insights from them?
I do not know whether they were there when they were negotiating. I don't know at all.
Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Yes, my name is Ezra Daniel. I'm calling from B Division area.
You're calling from where?
From B Division area.
Okay, that's Police B Division in Makudi, right?
Yes, B Division in Makudi.
Thank you, Ezra.
Yes, I want to appreciate you for bringing up this wonderful topic. As a matter of fact, the strike of the Johnson strike, I think it's as if they have scrambled the whole government arm. You find out that we have just 3 arms of government. The other arm is not functioning. Automatically, the government is not complete. And I wonder why these people are the place where we seek for justice. So I do imagine how would they have an issue with the government and they want to go in their own way at the detriment of we, the public. So it is a very painful thing. I don't imagine how the governor is taking this kind of a thing from these people. Because they are in court. It is in their court that people bring out issues to seek redress. So now they have an issue with government. Why don't they go to the court? They resolve to punish the people because their salaries are going on. And I think this is an act of sabotage. The government should do something about it. I wonder what is going on. They can take this kind of issues to court. As a matter of fact, issues of strike should be totally be condemned in Nigeria. What do we have court for? If you have issue, you need to go to court and seek redress. These people will decide to go on the strike or go on protest.
Ezra.
Yes.
Apologies. Let me cut in. When you mentioned, allege that it's an act of sabotage and issues of strike, I think the law itself allow labor issues to in dispute. Strike is one of the issues. Labor laws stipulate this. So if you are saying it's an act of sabotage and it should be decided, dealt with decisively in the country, don't you think that may be compromising the rights of workers?
No, it's an association. You cannot cripple a whole arm of government. I know that there are people who have liberty not to.
You may not know. You may not be in a position to know that there. In any case, conclude your thoughts.
It's all right. What I'm saying is that they should find other ways to seek for to address their grievances instead of punishing the general public. We are
to that. Like he's alleging sabotage. Is it? Does the NBA view it from this perspective? And he's even saying that issues of strike should be decisively handled. Don't you think that would compromise the rights of workers in line with labor laws on ground?
Well, I do not know from where he got the idea of the strike being a sabotage. I do not think it is a sabotage. Sabotaging who? Sabotaging what? They have genuine requests that they are making, and they want those requests to be ventilated. And also, a strike, in the nature of the strike embarked upon by Jason, is one of the aspects that you see in a democratic environment. It's part of democracy. A strike is allowed. And the laws allow bodies like that to go on strike. So I don't think they are wrong in going on strike. My problem is that perhaps the modalities under which they went on strike, that is just it.
All right. So let it be clearly established that we are speaking on this issue in context of the strike of JUSON and not just labor issues in general. So we are not calling for labor issues to be decisively handled or saying that as an act of sabotage, as someone is saying. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. You are last caller, and we
Honorable
give you.
Lamana from Mababara. I call again.
Okay, John Olamana.
Yes.
You are the last caller, so
Yes,
please
okay.
make your submission very brief. Right.
Okay,
Besides,
yeah.
you are a second-time
So,
caller.
sorry, I think the judiciary is not to blame. I don't know of other states, but in Benue State, each time a government implements a policy, the policy doesn't work. You always hear on radio that implement, and workers are always crying. What's the meaning of that? If you cannot make a policy, don't make it, because you're creating problems for the people involved. So when some of us are talking, they will take it to as political inclination. It's not like that. So what I want the NBA, I'm just appealing to him that anywhere two lions meet, it's only the grasses that suffer. So let them go into negotiation. Please, and please, and please. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you, John Olamana, for calling in. Unfortunately, we wanted that to be the last call, but it's a second-time caller. We're wondering whether to be good. But all the same, we'll end on that note with the callers because we really do not have the time anymore. Now, Barrister Yaji, from an objective point of view as a legal practitioner, with the quantum of resources available to states now, is there any reason why the government should not afford to pay what the JUSO members are asking for to get the judiciary sector in the state working again?
As much as I do not think there should be any problem with payment from the government, I equally know as a matter of course that the government may have one or two reasons why these amounts of monies are not being paid. I do not think it is because there's a paucity of funds that these monies have not been paid to JUSON. So it is a two-way thing. Yes, I agree that there are enough funds within the state government for this request by JUSON to be paid. What they are requesting for now is in the sum of about 92 to 93 million naira, which the government can afford. But I think it translates much more to just payment. I think that the government needs to, while not holding forth for them, I think that they are skeptical about creating a precedent for JUSON. If they pay this money now, perhaps what will happen to other bodies that will go on strike? I think that is where the problem is.
Okay, but has there been this precedent that before now, the salaries of the judiciary were paid in a way that was different from the regular civil servant in the state?
Yes.
So what is the fear? If I should get it from your perspective that the government is afraid of creating a precedent for other workers to follow?
Well, that is just what I think.
Yes.
I am not certain that is what it is.
All right.
That is just what I think. Or else, I don't see why they should not negotiate with them. If your salary, this is what you have been taking before, these are the allowances that you have been taking before, why do you not want to pay those allowances? And if there's a reason for not paying those allowances, why don't you sit down and negotiate that no, let us reduce this one, let us take out this one reasonably, and then the matter will end.
Where do we go from here? This should be your concluding thoughts on this issue.
My concluding thought is that both the JUSON and the government should come back together and talk. As my colleague has said, there is no problem that cannot be solved with talking. If you're a boxer and you do not have an opponent to come into the ring, then it's a problem. But immediately you have two boxers in the ring, the fight will go on, and definitely there will be a conclusion. So they should come back to the negotiating table and talk. NBA will offer its services as a middle person. We'll sit in the middle, we'll look at Jason's request, we'll look at what the government is saying, and then we'll help them come to a compromise.
All right. Now, I meant that should be a concluding thought, but just one more, which should be finally. Now, is there any place for the NBA to sue Juson should they continue with this strike that has grounded the judiciary services? With such a litigation stand the test of time in the eyes of the law?
Well, we'll go back and look at it. If that is it, then definitely there's no. The law provides several courses of action, and it is a law that provides what the course of action will be. So we have not thought about it. We'll go and look at it, and if there need be, we'll take those kind of steps. I hope that there will not be need for that.
And why there will be no, why you think or hope that there will be no need for it in the immediate? What should be the solution between government and the Juson?
They should talk and get to a compromise. They should talk and get to a compromise. Juson are insisting on these salaries should be paid to us. Government is saying no, we cannot pay you those salaries. It's not as if they have said they will not pay salaries. They have been paid salaries. Even December salaries were paid. It's just a difference. And that difference can be worked upon between the government and Juson. I don't think it is something that should cause an impasse.
Anyway, is there anything advocacy the NBA may take up at this time on the part of the suffering citizens who may be unjustly detained by some law enforcement agencies without having access to legal services?
Yes, the NBA has a human rights committee, and that committee has been going up and down, visiting one police station or the other, and ensuring that at least to a basic extent, to a minimum extent, the rights of citizens that are detained are not unjustly taken away from them.
And I think you should tighten it at this particular time.
Yes,
Maybe if you need to engage with the state police commissioner to know what exactly is happening, so that offenses that are does not necessarily require them keeping citizens, they shouldn't be doing so.
Exactly.
So that will not add to the sufferings of the people unnecessarily. Barrister Tena Yaji is the chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, NBA Makudi branch. He joined us here on today's edition of the program, which we examined the issues responsible for the judiciary workers' strike in Benue State. We appreciate you very sincerely, Barrister Yaji, for your time on Perspectives.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure always.
We sympathize with your members, by the way.
Yes,
we hope that the strike is called off so that your services are back. You attend to litigants as well.
That is our prayer. Honestly.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Dear listener, that's our program today. Join us next week, Monday, for a fresh edition. I am Nathaniel Nongo. Have yourself a great weekend. Goodbye.